Hello everybody, welcome to KPIS Delhi's CARE Initiative, Current Affairs through Reverse Engineering. These are the articles that we'll be seeing today. Let us look into the first article for the rules for Green Credit Program. For prelims, Green Credit Program as a theme is important. What is Green Credit Program and some basics about it we'll just see. Green Credit is an initiative launched by Indian Prime Minister during COP28, Conference of Parties 28, held in 2023 in Dubai, that is United Arab Emirates. Okay, it is an initiative within government's LIFE program. What is this LIFE program or LIFE movement? Lifestyle for environment. All right. So this green credit program is part of the larger LIFE movement. Okay, when was this LIFE movement actually in place? It was launched during COP26 in Glasgow, that is in 2021. Okay, what is this LIFE program or LIFE movement? It is a movement towards mindful and deliberate utilization of resources to protect and preserve the environment. All right. Okay, now what is this Green Credit Program? Green Credit Program is an innovative market-based mechanism aimed at intensifying voluntary environmental actions across diverse sectors involving individuals, communities, private sectors, industries, and companies. When were these rules notified? They were notified in the month of October in the year 2023 under which Act? Environmental Protection Act of 1986. Okay, and who is looking after the GCP's governance framework? It is supported by Interministerial Steering Committee. All right, and you should also know about Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education. This serves as an administrator responsible for program implementation. All right. Now, what is this ICFRE? It is an autonomous body of Environment Ministry. All right. And who will actually carry forward the afforestation? It is done by state forest departments. Okay. Now, under Green Credit Program, registered and approved entities can pay to finance afforestation projects in specific tracts of degraded forest and wasteland. Okay, and 2 years after planting is done by the companies, an evaluation will be done by this entity, ICFRE, and each planted tree could be worth 1 green credit. Okay, and these green credits can then be used by companies which have diverted forest land for non-forest purposes, okay, to offset some of their obligations under India's compensatory afforestation laws. Okay, there is an industry, okay, to build an industry, if they're cutting down some trees, the same industry has to go and plant trees, equivalent number of trees, and after 2 years this entity will come and check them and they will give them some credits. Okay, so if you're cutting 10 trees and you've planted 10 trees out of which only 8 have survived, this company will get only 8 credits. All right, and under this green credit program, what are the environmental activities that are included? One is tree plantation, second one is water management, third is sustainable agriculture, fourth is waste management, fifth is air pollution reduction, and sixth is mangrove conservation and restoration. All right, and there will be a green credit registry and trading platform, and this green credit registry will help track and manage earned credits, and these credits can be traded in the domestic market. And you should also know that the green credit program operates independently of carbon credits. Okay, this carbon credit trading scheme 2023, and these are different. This one is governed by what? Environment and Energy Conservation Act of 2001, and this one is governed by Environmental Protection Act of 1986. These two are different. You cannot combine these both. Okay. Consider the following statements with regards to Green Credits Program. GCP was launched by UN Secretary General in 2024. This is wrong because we've just seen in the basics that GCP was launched in COP28, held in 2023 in United Arab Emirates. Okay, so this is wrong. To be specific, it's Dubai. So this is wrong. Green credits for afforestation are a way to incentivize private investments in tree plantation. This is true. You've just seen, right? Corpus of compensatory afforestation fund comes from environmental compensation money paid by companies. This is true, and this money is used by states for afforestation. All right. So this is correct. How many of the above statements are correct? 2 and 3. That means only 2 statements are right. Which of the following best describes the aim of Green India mission of the Government of India? Incorporating environmental benefits and costs into union and state budgets, thereby implementing the green accounting. Now, what is green accounting? It refers to incorporating the environmental costs and benefits into the national accounts to reflect the economic value of natural resources and environmental services. All right. See, this is the statement is true. However, it was not directly mentioned as a part of Green India mission. All right. So this is wrong. The statement, the meaning is correct, but the linkage is not there. That's why this is wrong. All right. Now, launching the second green revolution to enhance agricultural output so as to ensure food security to one and all in future. See, this is correct, but this is not linked to Green India mission. Green India mission primarily focuses on what? Restoring and enhancing forest covers, and it does not explicitly mention enhancing agricultural output or ensuring food security. So this is wrong because of no linkage. Now, restoring and enhancing forest cover and responding to climate change by a combination of adaptation and mitigation measures. Third statement makes sense, right? First is wrong, second statement is wrong. That means B and A are gone. C is the answer. Influenza A H5N1 detected in dairy cows in the US. We've seen in detail about H5N1 virus in the previous sessions of care. However, I will repeat it for your benefit. Okay. See, there are 4 types of influenza viruses, namely influenza A, B, C, and D. Okay. Influenza A and B are 2 types of influenza viruses that cause epidemic seasonal infections nearly every year. All right. And influenza C mainly occurs in humans. Okay. And sometimes pigs and dogs are also affected. Whereas influenza D is found in cattle. It is not known to infect humans yet. So this is wrong. I mean, humans are not affected. But A and B, they cause epidemic seasonal infections every year, almost every year. And when you come to this types of influenza viruses, they are classified based on, see, H and N. What is this H and N? They are 2 proteins, namely hemagglutinin and neuraminidase. Okay, and there are about 18 types or 18 subtypes in this particular protein and 11 here. So different combinations will affect different types of groups. Okay, all the subtypes can affect birds except the combination of H17, N10 and H18 and 11. These both will affect bats. Okay, so last two, that is 17, 18, 10 and 11, these combinations, they will affect bats. All right. So this H5N1 is basically avian influenza. Okay. And it can infect humans. Whereas variants like H1N1, H1N2, H3N2, these are all types of what? Swine flus. Okay. And these also can affect humans. And this avian influenza H5N1, it can infect humans though rarely it will infect humans. Okay, and what is the mortality rate according to WHO? It is 60%. Okay, mortality rate is 60%, but it rarely affects humans. And from human to human, can it be transmitted? It is very, very difficult to transmit. Okay. Consider the following statements with regards to H5N1 infection. There is no outbreak of avian influenza in US till date as it has advanced surveillance infrastructure. This is wrong because the context of the article itself says that this is detected in dairy cows in the USA. So it is basically avian influenza. However, cows were also affected. All right. H5N1 virus can infect cattle and humans. Yes, it can infect because we've just seen, right? Which of the above statements is are correct? Only second statement is right. Now, H1N1 virus is sometimes mentioned in the news with reference to which one of the following diseases? It is swine flu. We've just seen here, right? All these variants are types of what? Swine flus. I mean, they will cause swine flus. New solar power rules boost production. What is the context? The context is that Indian government, to incentivize India's solar module manufacturing industry, the ministry, which ministry? Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has brought into effect from April 1st an executive order which put down the rules. Okay, and what is the order known as? It is called Approved Models and Manufacturers of Solar Photovoltaic Modules Requirements for Compulsory Registration Order 2019. It was first issued in the year 2019 and now these rules are amended. Okay. Now you should understand here that it requires makers of solar modules to voluntarily submit to an inspection of the manufacturing facilities by the National Institute of Solar Energy. Okay, voluntary. It is a voluntary thing, not a compulsion thing. So here they might twist and give you a statement. Oh, it is voluntary. Okay, and the models are multiple solar panels joined together. Modules as multiple solar panels joined together, and there will be a list of approved manufacturing facility, and if they voluntarily submit it and if the inspection is done and if they get into the list, so being on this list actually shows the company as a legitimate manufacturer of solar panels and not a mere importer or assembler. Okay, so this is the nature of the list is voluntary. And one more advantage that the company gets is they have the eligibility to compete for tenders issued by the government for its flagship solar energy programs. All right. Programs like what? One is the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. This scheme actually envisages subsidizing rooftop solar installations for nearly 1 crore households. All right. So only domestic manufacturers certified as part of this list will be eligible to manufacture things needed under this program. And second one is PM Kusum scheme. PM Kusum scheme, what is this? Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Utahan Maha Abhiyan. It aims to provide solar pump sets and rural electrification. All right. And the same thing, if a manufacturer is in this list, he would be eligible to provide things for these two programs. All right. And PM Kusum is under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, not Ministry of Power. And why are these rules very much required now? Because the solar industry, India's solar industry is heavily reliant on imports of cheaper and comparable quality solar modules from China. Okay, so to curb that and to incentivize people who are actually manufacturing, they've brought in the new rules. Clear? Consider the following pairs, scheme and ministries. PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, Ministry of Power. This is wrong because the scheme envisages subsidizing rooftop solar installations. Okay, the scheme basically envisages subsidizing rooftop solar installations for nearly 1 crore households, and usually if it is solar power or anything like that, the renewable energy will be taken care by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, not Ministry of Power usually. So this is wrong. Now PM Kusum. What is PM Kusum? Going by the name, you might mark Ministry of Women and Child Welfare, but this is wrong because PM Kusum has a full form. What is it? प्रधानमंत्री किसान ऊर्जा सुरक्षा एवं उत्थान महाअभियान. What does ऊर्जा mean? ऊर्जा means energy. Okay, उत्थान is rising up in Hindi. All right. So what does this program aim at? It aims to provide solar pump sets and rural electrification, and is aimed to ensure energy security for farmers in India. Because solar energy is involved, this is also taken care by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So this is also gone. PM Daksh scheme. What is this PM Daksh scheme? It is Pradhan Mantri Dakshta or Kushalta Sampan Hitgrahi. It was introduced by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment with the objective of economic empowerment or upliftment through training of marginalized target groups. So it is not Ministry of Culture, it is Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Alright, so all three are wrong. Now, how many of the above pairs are correct? None of them. Now, with reference to Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, consider the following statements. First of all, in Hindi, Kaushal means skills. Okay, Kaushal Vikas is upgradation of your skills and enhancing your skills. Okay. Yeah, now, it is a flagship scheme under Ministry of Labour and Employment. This is wrong because it is under Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and it is implemented by National Skill Development Corporation. Alright, so this is wrong. Which of the statements given above are correct? So 1 is wrong, which means this is gone, this is gone. 2 is common. So 2 is obviously right. Now coming to the third statement. It aims to align the competencies of unregulated workforce of the country to the National Skill Qualification Framework. This is correct because there is a part of the scheme that is recognition of prior learning component. Okay, so this RPL aims to align the competencies of the unregulated workforce of the country to the NSQF, that is National Skill Qualification Framework. So C is the answer. World Central Kitchen is in use. What is the context? The World Central Kitchen, where is it located? It is in the Gaza Strip, and it was attacked by Israeli forces, and it led to death of 7 people. All right, so that is the context. Now some basics about this World Central Kitchen. It is a United States based non-profit organization that focuses on feeding people during conflicts and major disasters across the world, often as first responders. Okay, so they feed people in disaster or conflict zones. All right, and who are the founders? In 2010, it was founded by Spanish American Michelin starred chef. Who is that? What is the name of the chef? It is Jos Andres. Jos Andres and his wife Patricia Fernandez de la Cruz. So chef Jos Andres and his wife Patricia founded this World Central Kitchen in 2010, and this particular World Central Kitchen has received many accolades, and some of them are National Humanities Medal awarded by the then US President Barack Obama in 2015, and they were also nominated, not won, but nominated for the Nobel Prize. Okay, and Amazon founder Jeff Bezos actually gave Chef Andres $100 million looking at his work. Okay, and to name a few instances where they worked relentlessly, one is during the Haiti earthquake and during the COVID-19 pandemic. And in 2022, even when Russia invaded Ukraine, this World Central Kitchen served millions of meals to refugees. So they're doing fantastic work. All right. Since the attack happened on the Gaza Strip, the map of Gaza Strip is very important. Okay, the geographical location. See, Gaza Strip is near the Mediterranean Sea. Okay. Here you have Israel. This is Gaza Strip. Here you have Israel, and here you have Egypt. Okay, so the strip is a small region located between Israel and Egypt on the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, it is one of the two Palestinian territories, with the other being Israel occupied West Bank. Now, where is West Bank? Why is it called West Bank? Because of the Jordan River. It is the western bank of Jordan River. Here you will have Jordan River. All right, this is West Bank. So, this you have to remember. In each of the questions given below, there are two statements labeled as assertion and reason. Okay. Assertion: World Central Kitchen is a United States based nonprofit that focuses on feeding people during conflicts and major disasters. This is right. We've just seen the basics of World Central Kitchen, and this is the main aim, that to feed people in crisis and during disasters. All right. World Central Kitchen have been awarded Nobel Peace Prize for their humanitarian help. They were not awarded Nobel Peace Prize, but they were nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. Okay. They were awarded National Humanities Medal Award by the then US President Barack Obama in 2015. And they were nominated for Nobel Prize, but they were not awarded. All right. So this is wrong. Only first statement is right. So A is true, R is false. Now, Amnesty International is, see, some basics about Amnesty International. It is a London-based NGO founded in 1961. Okay. And the organization was also awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in the year 1977 for its defense of human dignity against torture. And it also won the United Nations Prize in the field of human rights in the year 1978. And it also gives the report known as the State of World's Human Rights Report. All right, so these are some basics. Now coming back to the question. An agency of the United Nations to help refugees of civil wars? No. It's a global human rights movement? Yes. D is the answer. Total solar eclipse. What is the context? The context is that on April 8th, total solar eclipse will cross North America, passing over Mexico, the United States, and Canada. All right. And some basics about solar eclipse. Solar eclipse happens when moon actually passes between the sun and the earth, casting a shadow that either fully or partially blocks the sun's light in some areas. Okay, and total solar eclipse actually occurs when the new moon comes in between sun and the earth. And what is this new moon in Hindi called as? It is called Amavasya. Okay, and this casts darkest part of its shadow, the umbra, on the earth. A full solar eclipse is almost as dark as night. Okay, so total solar eclipse, these are some basics. There are other types of solar eclipses also. One is the annular solar eclipse. See, this happens when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, but when it is at or near the farthest point from the earth. The positioning is the same, but this moon has to be at or near to the farthest point from the earth. Then it is called annular solar eclipse. And then there is partial solar eclipse. What is this partial solar eclipse? Partial solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, but the sun, moon and earth are not perfectly lined up. All right, that is about partial solar eclipse. And then comes the hybrid solar eclipse. Now, what is this hybrid solar eclipse? It is a combination between total solar eclipse and annular solar eclipse. Why is it so? Because the Earth's surface is curved. Sometimes an eclipse can shift between annular and total solar eclipses as the moon's shadow moves across the globe. This is about hybrid solar eclipse. Clear? Now, what is lunar eclipse? Lunar eclipse is caused when sun, earth, and moons line up is like this. That is, moon moves into the earth's shadow. Moon is moving into the earth's shadow. All right. Then we'll have lunar eclipse. Considers the following statements with regards to solar eclipse. A solar eclipse is witnessed only during the new moon. This is correct. That is precisely what I explained. And new moon in Hindi is known as Amavasya. Okay, so this is right. Which of the above statements are correct? First statement is right. So, the first statement is right, C is gone. Now, a solar eclipse happens every month? No, this is not every month, or the period is not 1 month. Okay, so second one is wrong, which means B is gone. Now, B and D are gone. A is the answer. However, because the trends are changing in prelims, we will have to have absolute knowledge. So let us look into the third statement. Partial solar eclipse is the rarest type of solar eclipse. You've seen what partial solar eclipse is. Okay, when the alignment of sun, moon and earth, all these three, when they're not perfectly lined up, then we'll call it as a partial solar eclipse. But this is not the rarest type. Hybrid solar eclipse, which is a combination of total and annular solar eclipse, that is the rarest type. So third statement is wrong. Now what is the fourth statement? When the moon passes in front of the sun but is at or near the farthest point from the earth, an annular solar eclipse occurs. This is correct. Okay, so fourth statement is right. We've just seen, right, the basics part. Now, variations in the length of daytime and nighttime from season to season are due to the earth's rotation on its axis. Day and night are caused due to earth's rotation. Agreed. However, the variation in the length of daytime and nighttime, that too from season to season, are not due to the earth's rotation. Earth's revolution around the sun in an elliptical manner, this is also not correct, because the variation will not happen because of the revolution. Okay. Seasons will change, but the length of daytime and nighttime will not change just because of revolution. Latitudinal position of the place, no. It is revolution of the earth on a tilted axis. Why? Because the axis is tilted. We have seen about the solstice, no, longest day, shortest day in the previous sessions, summer solstice, winter solstice, the longest day. So it's because the revolution of the earth on a tilted axis. D is the answer. RBI's Monetary Policy Committee keeps the benchmark policy repo rate unchanged. Now, for prelims, what is RBI's Monetary Policy Committee? It's very important. What is this RBI's Monetary Policy Committee? See, Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934, that is RBI Act, has been amended by the Finance Act of 2016 to provide for a statutory and institutionalized framework for Monetary Policy Committee. Okay, so under section 45ZB of the amended RBI Act, central government is empowered to constitute a 6-member Monetary Policy Committee. Okay, and who are the 6 members? One will be the RBI governor, who is the chairperson, RBI deputy governor, who is in charge of the monetary policy. Okay, there are deputy governors, no? One governor will be in charge of that monetary policy. Okay, so that governor will be here. And one official nominated by RBI board. And the remaining, these are 3 members, no? The remaining 3 members would represent the government of India. Okay. And what is the function of this Monetary Policy Committee? The Monetary Policy Committee is entrusted with the task of fixing the benchmark policy rate, that is repo rate, required to contain inflation within the specified target level. All right. And this MPC, Monetary Policy Committee, actually makes decisions based on majority vote. And in case of a tie, RBI governor will have the second or casting vote. And the decision of MPC will be binding on RBI. All right. And there are some terms that the MPC uses. What are those? One is the accommodative stance. What is this accommodative stance? That means central bank is prepared to expand the money supply and to boost the economic growth. Okay, that means it is cutting down on interest rates. Second one is neutral stance. What is this neutral stance? It suggests that the central government can either cut rate or increase rate. This stance is typically adopted when the policy priority is equal on both inflation and growth. And third one is the hawkish stance. What does this indicate? It means that central bank's top priority is to keep the inflation low. Hawkish stance. During such a phase, the central bank is willing to hike interest rates to curb money supply and thus reduce the demand. Okay. And there's another term called as calibrated tightening. What does that mean? That means during the current rate cycle, a cut in the repo rate is off the table. Okay, but the rate hike will happen in calibrated manner. That means central bank may not go for a rate increase in every policy meeting, but the overall policy stance is tilted towards rate hike. Okay, and this time the RBI said, the Monetary Policy Committee said that we are taking a policy stance of withdrawal of accommodation. So that means they are withdrawing this accommodative stance. Okay, taken earlier. Now, what is this repo rate? Repo rate is the rate at which commercial banks borrow money from the central bank of a country. In India, it is Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so when will they borrow? When they are in need of funds, right? So repo rate is the rate at which commercial banks actually borrow money from RBI. In the recently held Monetary Policy Committee meet led by RBI Governor, which of the following policy stances have been taken by the committee? So as I mentioned, I described what is hawkish, neutral and calibrated tightening, and accommodative stance was withdrawn. So it is withdrawal of accommodation, second option. So what is hawkish? As I mentioned, hawkish stance indicates that the central bank's top priority is to keep the inflation low. Okay, and it is willing to hike, that means it is willing to hike interest rates to curb money supply, and thus it will reduce the demand. So that is hawkish stance. What is neutral stance? It suggests that the central bank can either cut rate or increase rate. Okay, it is usually adopted when the policy priority is equal on both inflation and growth. So that is neutral. Okay. What is accommodative stance? It means that the central bank is prepared to expand the money supply to boost the economic growth. Now withdrawal of accommodation is happening. Okay, withdrawal of accommodative stance, which it has taken earlier. So 2 is the answer. Now, which of the following statements these are correct regarding the Monetary Policy Committee? See, it was given in 2017 because there was an amendment done in 2016. Okay, now it decides the RBI's benchmark interest rate. Yes. Yes, instead of repo rate, they've given benchmark interest rates. Okay, repo rate, it is also known as benchmark interest rate. Okay, and it is the rate at which RBI lends money to the banks, right? So this we have seen in the basics part. So this is right. It is a 12-member body. It is not 12-member body, 6 members, right? 3 plus 3. 3 are nominated by the government, and in this 3, one is the RBI governor, and then you have RBI deputy governor who is in charge of monetary policy, and third person, this RBI governor is the chairperson, and the third person is RBI board member, and 3 members are nominated by the government. So this is wrong. It functions under the chairmanship of Union Finance Minister. No, RBI governor is the chairperson, right? So 2 and 3 are wrong. Only A. This is it for today. All the best.